Now, if you're not afraid of something a little out of the ordinary,
vampires, werewolves, ghouls, ghosts, mummies that come back to life after 3,000 years. The magic moments of terror.
What? A Blarney Stone? What do you do with a Blarney Stone? You kiss it. You kiss it where? Why would you? Hey, Sally the Zombie Cheerleader here, and welcome to my super shamrocky St. Patrick's Day special. Yeah, well, I figured I'd do up the lair and have a little fun with St. Patrick's Day, just like the fleshies. You know, I've done a few St. Patrick's Day specials, and I've pretty much covered all the bizarre and twisted facts about a holiday that's, well, celebrated around the world by lots and lots of fleshies. So, what's left for Sally to talk about?
Oh, brother.
Oh, it is left for me to talk about for St. Patrick's. Oh, I know, the Dullahan. What's the Dullahan, you ask? Or maybe you didn't. I'm going to tell you anyway. Well, according to ZombieNet, the Dullahan is one of the most unusual creatures in the Irish fairy realm. Kind of like a leprechaun or maybe a zombie. Anyway, well, I don't know. It's also known as a headless horseman and a herald of death. Hey, kind of like me, that's great. Anyway, the Dullahan is usually depicted as a headless rider on a black horse who carries their head in its arm. I have my own head here. Maybe I should start walking around. Anyway, usually the Dullahan is male, but there are female versions, so a Dullahan could be anything or anyone, so it doesn't matter. The myth of the Dullahan comes from Ireland, of course, hence my St. Paddy's Day special. The only thing I really have left to talk about, because you don't want to hear the same myths over and over. And check this out. The mouth of the Dullahan is usually in a hideous grin that touches both sides of the head. Hey, not that one! Come on now, that's better. Anyway, its eyes are constantly moving about and can see across the countryside even during the darkest nights. Well, that's pretty handy. I could use that when I'm, Anyway, the flesh of the head is said to have the color and consistency of moldy cheese. Ugh, cheese. Well, anyway, stop that. The Dullahan is believed to use the spine of a human corpse for a whip. I like that. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll take some notes here later. And its wagon is adorned with funeral objects.
Who knew?
Wow, I'm really liking this Dullahan a whole lot. And it has candles and skulls to light the way. The spokes of the wheels are made from thigh bones. Hey! Oh, this is. Hey, wait. I'm hearing a song in my head. The thigh bone is connected to the wheel wagon, and the wheel wagon is connected to... Duh. Wait, that's not how the song goes. Anyway, the wagon's covering is made from a worn, chewed pall or funeral cloak, or a dried human skin. Hey, people jerky, that's great. It puts the lotion on the dried human skin, and then it puts the cloak on the wagon again, or something like that. Anyway, the ancient Irish believed that where the Dullahan stops riding, a person is due to die. The Dullahan calls out the person's name, drawing away the soul from its victim, at which point the person immediately drops dead. Wow, what a great super zombie power. Could you imagine if I could just walk up to fleshies and go, "Hey you, drop dead"? I would have an instant fleshy snack. Could you imagine? Anyway, I bet you are wondering why I am talking about a Dullahan. Well, I figured not only is a Dullahan a great topic for St. Patrick's Day because I found an old show hosted by Lights Out called the Mad Dullahan, Well, their version depicts the Dullahan as more of a mischievous leprechaun than a headless reaper, so who knows? Anyway, I thought this short, which first aired on NBC April 2nd, 1951, would be a fun film to show the fleshies for my St. Paddy's Day special. So let's enjoy Lights Out, the Mad Dullahan.
Lights out.
Hello. Maybe you have never heard of a Dullahan? Some people hear of practically nothing else. People like Steve Denham, for example. Now, a Dullahan is a sort of thing not precisely human, not elfin exactly. But if you get a Dullahan mad, you're apt to remember it for the rest of your days. Yes, sir. Lights out.
We'll see about that.
You can't come in here.
Are you Dr. Perot?
What is this all about, nurse?
I'm sorry, Doctor. I tried to keep this man
Will you
outside.
please answer my question? Are you Dr. Perot?
I believe so, yes.
I demand to see Miss Reardon, Miss Catherine Reardon.
That's all right, nurse. You may go.
I'm very sorry, Doctor.
No, not.
You have Miss Reardon here, haven't you, Doctor?
We have. May I ask your name, sir?
My name is Denham, Stephen Denham.
Dr. Farrow. Now, have your things? You are related to the patient, Mr. Denham?
We're engaged. Will you tell me, please, why they wouldn't let me see her?
My orders, Mr. Denham.
But why, Doctor? Is there anything wrong with Kitty?
That is what we ourselves are trying to find out.
Kitty in a sanitarium? I don't get it. She's not insane. She's not even neurotic.
Miss Reardon may not be demented, but she shows definite signs of instability.
In what way?
She appears to be suffering from a strange trauma. Hallucination, I believe you would call it. Tell me, how long have you known Miss Reardon?
About 6 months, I guess. She was up home in Boston. She was working as a stenographer when I met her.
When did you last see her?
Over 10 days ago. Her father died. She came immediately to New York.
How did you happen to follow her here?
Well, I wrote several letters, tried to telephone her, couldn't reach her, so I followed her. I traced her up here.
What do you know of her background, Mr. Denham?
Not very much. She never talked about her background or her family. I didn't know she had a father until he died.
I see.
Doctor, will you please tell me what this is all about?
Mr. Denham, did you ever hear of a Dullahan?
A what?
Dullahan.
No.
Miss Reardon never at any time mentioned to you Dullahan?
No. Why? What is a Dullahan?
I would not know myself if I had not done certain research in the matter. A Dullahan is a cousin to a leprechaun. It is a sort of mischievous elf or fairy found in Irish folklore. It is said to inhabit the trees and fields and forests of certain counties of Ireland, and at night it comes out and bedevils the humans found in its vicinity.
Would you please tell me what nonsense this is? What has it got to do with Kitty?
The strangest part of Miss Reardon's case is she claims to be possessed by one of these Dullahans.
Possessed?
She continually complains of severe headaches. And this Dullahan, you understand, is supposed to have entered her head by way of her mouth, and its mischievous behavior is what causes these severe headaches.
Good Lord. She must be insane.
Oh, no, I'm happy to say I do not agree with you. In my examinations, I found Miss Reardon to be quite sane. My electroencephalograms show no signs of any pathological disturbances whatsoever.
Well, then what is the matter, Doctor?
I am not sure, but with you here, she may be willing to talk more freely. Up until now, we've known absolutely nothing about her except the few isolated facts she was able to give us when she came to us. Excuse me, Act 4.
I'm sorry.
Will you have Miss Catherine Reardon brought to my office at once, please? Thank you. Mr. Denham, there are certain facts I feel I should tell you about your fiancée. She does not look at all well. She's lost considerable weight in the short time she's been with us. Another thing, in case she goes into shock, you must be prepared for something strange and rather frightening.
Something strange.
Yes. Frankly, I do not know myself exactly what happens. And if I described it to you, you would not believe me. Huh? There should be some means of finding it out, but so far I have not found it.
Well, tell me, Doctor, what happens?
I would rather you saw it for yourself, if and when it does happen. Excuse me. Won't you sit down, Miss Reardon?
Thank you.
Kitty. Kitty, what is all this? What's happened?
You shouldn't have followed me, Steve. You must go away. Forget me, for your own sake.
Kitty, you've got to tell me.
No, get back. You must do as I say, Steve. There's so much danger.
Well, Kitty, tell me, what is the danger?
The Dullahan.
That's the silliest
No,
story
get
I've ever...
back, I said.
Could you tell us how this Dullahan happened to get hold of you?
It was my father who had this Dullahan. It possessed him when he was a young man back in Ireland. He lived in County Cork. One day when he was roaming the forests, he got lost. Night came and he lay down beneath a tree to rest. But he fell asleep. He must have slept with his mouth open. That's how the Dullahan gets into your system without you realizing it. And you become possessed. The Dullahan saw his opportunity and entered the body of my father. Papa was in torment till he died.
Tell us, Miss Reardon, how do you explain the Dullahan being in possession of you now?
When I was at the wake, I saw Papa lying there cold and still, and I bent down and kissed him. The first time in my life. That's how I became possessed. The Dullahan went from my father's body to mine. Father didn't lie. He was telling the truth. So am I.
Oh, Kitty, 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 this is the most fantastic story I ever heard.
I know, but you must believe me. You must never see me again.
Miss Reardon, before you go back to your room, I would like to make another electroencephalogram. Yes?
No, I'm not insane, Dr.
Oh,
Farrell.
please.
I'm not insane.
Miss Reardon, I have every reason to believe you. I need, however, for my records, yes? Please, ma'am.
Very well. I'm so tired, I want to go back to my room.
Yes, very soon, if you'll sit here now, please. As soon as possible. Very quickly with it. Now. So. That's a little closer, please. Can you move this way a little bit? That's it. That doesn't hurt, no? Just relax. Be comfortable. There. Now, Mr. Denham, if you come over here, please.
Of course.
This may be of interest to you. Are you ready, Miss Reardon?
Yes, Doctor.
You will notice the regular pattern traced on the paper.
What does that mean?
Well, for one thing, it assures us there's nothing organically wrong with her.
Thank heaven for that.
Yes, but Miss Reardon's case is a very complicated one. Still, there is hope.
Listen, do anything. You hear? I don't want any expense spared. Doctor, what is it?
I don't know. It's never acted this way before.
Is it the machine?
I don't think so. It's been checked recently. There must be some outside disturbance. Doctor, look. She's going into shock.
Kitty?
Shh. Please, do not disturb her.
Look at her, Doctor.
Oh, please.
Try and get me out, you mortal! Try and get me out, you fool! Just try! Hey, check this out. I seen the Dullahan myself, stopping on the brow of a hill between Bransford and Money Scalp late one evening, just as the sun was setting. It was completely headless, but it held up its own head in its hand, and I heard it call out a name. Yoo-hoo! Anyway, I put my hand across my ears in case the name was my own, so I couldn't hear what it said. You still die if you... Anyway, when I looked up again, it was gone, but shortly afterwards, there was a bad car accident on that very hill, and a young man was killed. Oh, poor Fleshy. It's a shame I wasn't there anyway. It had been his name that the Dullahan was calling. Gee, this is great. Those who watch from their windows to see him pass are rewarded for their pains by having a basin of blood thrown in their faces. That's a waste of... Anyway. Or by being struck blind in one eye. Just one eye. What does he do with the other eye? I mean, it's a waste of a perfectly good... Hey, Sally the Zombie Cheerleader here, and that Dullahan is one bad mother.
Shut up!
Anyway, how are you enjoying the short show? And by short, I mean short. I think we have about 22 minutes of hurry up and write a script with a plot, a climax, a conclusion, and lots of smoking and commercials. Hey, welcome to the 1950s. And you know you have a great doctor when he tells your fiancée she's mad because she's possessed by a sprite while he's chain smoking.
Wow!
Yay, 1950s chain smokers. Hey, fleshies, don't smoke. You know all the, it's bad for you and it shortens your life and all this stuff. But more importantly, it's bad for zombies. When we go to eat or hug you, it kind of leaves this, aftertaste of nicotine and tar, and it's really nasty. So don't smoke. Think about your zombie friends. It's very important. Anyway, I bet you're wondering what this show is all about. Well, this guy finds his missing fiancée in a mental hospital, and she believes she's possessed by a Dullahan, a spirit of Irish folklore that jumped to her from her late father when she kissed him farewell at his funeral. Anyway, the fiancé investigates and learns that her father had been a famous ventriloquist and his dummy was named Mr. Dullahan. Wait, so did she get the Dullahan from the dead dad or the dummy? And why was the Dullahan living in a wooden doll when it's a reaper and then the dad had it, or the dummy and the dad and the...
You don't understand.
So, I think this script was written in about 5 minutes, based on the plot anyway. You go back and enjoy what's left of our lights out, the Mad Dullahan.
Miss Reardon? Miss Reardon? Are you all right?
All right? Yes, I suppose I am. Well, what happened?
You fainted.
I fainted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Miss Catherine Reardon is ready to go back to her room now. Yes, please.
You see, I'm not well, Steve. You must go away. Forget me for your own sake.
Thank you, Miss. You will go with the nurse, please, Miss Reardon. She will take you back to your room. Thank you.
Doctor, this is incredible.
I warned you, Mr. Denman.
That voice, where did it come from?
Well, that, of course, she does herself. But how? The only explanation I've been able to find is that she's learned to control the muscles of her throat. This is not at all unusual. Like ventriloquists?
Yes, I know, but where did she learn it?
That I don't know. We know nothing of her past. But that's what makes it so difficult to treat her. I'm certain, though, that her father is the key to her condition. Her father, and he is dead.
Father.
What have you there?
There's obituary notice.
Oh?
Patrick Reardon, 277 Trumbull Drive.
Yes, but Mr. Denham, what can you hope to find?
I don't know, Doctor. But I'm not going to give up Kitty that easy. I'll see you later.
Yes, Mr. Denham, Please, be good enough to let me know what you do discover.
Oh, just a minute. Just a minute. Oh. Now, that's right. Yes, young man?
Are you the landlady?
Oh, yes. You want to see about the vacancy?
Yes, if you please.
All right, then. Come in.
Thank you.
Oh, I was just starting to clean up a little when you knocked. Now, I'm sure you'll find the room satisfactory. They're large and clean, and the people here are awful nice folk.
That sounds pretty good.
Say, are you in show business? I usually rent to show people.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I am.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, sit down, young man. Sit down.
Thank you.
Oh, what's your line, Mr.
Denham.
Denham? Oh, acrobat?
No, I'm an actor.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? What show you working with?
Well, I'm afraid I'm not working just at present, you see.
How many of us are these days?
No.
I used to be in show business, too, you know.
Were you?
Madam Flora, I was billed as.
Well.
Oh, yeah, I even played the palace once. Oh, that was before your time. We had a mind reading act. And my husband used to go down into the audience and pick up things, and I'd have to guess what they were.
Well.
Oh, he's dead now. God rest his soul. I saw it in the cards. I used to tell fortunes, too, you know, on the side.
Did you?
I was pretty good at it, if I do say it myself. Still am. Say, would you like me to tell you your fortune?
Oh, no, thanks. I don't think
Oh, come on, I know. You're down on your luck. Now, let's see now. What do the cards say? Oh, I used to thrill 'em with this one.
Madam Flora, I didn't mention it to you, but your place here was recommended to me by an old friend. Pat Reardon?
Pat Reardon?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. He lived here for years. Oh, my dear boy. Didn't you know?
Oh, yes. I did hear. He died a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Tell me, did you know him? I mean, very well.
Oh, as well as anybody could, I suppose. He kept to himself all the time. A little cold for my taste.
I understood he had a daughter.
Oh, yeah, Catherine. Very pretty girl. Gee, I wonder whatever became of her. Oh, I know, she was always alone, poor child.
Tell me, did Pat have any close friends that used to drop in occasionally?
He certainly did not. He wouldn't let anybody get close to him, not even his own daughter. Never kissed her, showed her any affection the way you think a father would. Cold as ice, I always thought he was. Not like the Irish at all.
Not like show business either, huh?
No. Oh, well, I suppose Pat Reardon thought he could get along without friends. You know, he had one of the biggest acts in show business. Yeah, he was a great headliner in his day.
Was he?
Oh, let me show you now.
Yes, I don't think I ever caught his act.
Oh. There was a ventriloquist.
What did you say?
A ventriloquist. You know, with the voice.
Oh, yes, I remember now.
Well, he was a remarkable artist. You really couldn't see his lips move. No, they made a wonderful pair. Him and Dullahan.
Who did you say?
Dullahan. The dummy. That's what Pat called him.
Oh, Dullahan.
Yeah. Funny name to call a dummy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I think Pat hated him.
Well, that's easy to understand. He probably was jealous of the dummy being the star of the act.
Yeah, he was the whole show. That's right. Oh, Pat loathed him. You know, sometimes when Pat had had one drink too many, he'd say that Dullahan ruined his whole life. Why, after Kitty left, he threw the poor dummy out of the window.
Well, did that end his ventriloquism?
Well, I don't know about that. It ended the act. Oh, I took the dummy back to him, you know. But he just slammed the door in my face. And then after that, When Pat died, I put Dullahan back in the trunk. Oh, would you like to see him?
Yes, I would, very much.
Oh, I think he's right here. Oh. Now let me... Oh, there he is. Oh. Now, you know, for all their fights, I think that little fellow was closer to Pat Reardon than anybody else in his life.
Madam Flower, will you tell me something?
Well, yes.
Do you think that Pat Reardon could have taught his daughter ventriloquism?
Well, I guess maybe he could have, but I wouldn't want to swear to it.
I see. Thanks.
Well, Mr. Denham, what about the room?
No, I don't think I'll need that now.
Oh.
Look, here. And thank you very, very much.
Why are you going to stay here? Oh, dear, wouldn't you think he'd stay here as flush and told? Huh? No, I don't think he'd stay here as flush and told. No. Mr. Denham!
Steve, what are you doing here?
The doctor gave me permission. I've got to talk to you, Kitty.
There's nothing to say. You must go away and forget me, Steve. You must... No,
Kitty,
no.
listen to me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I can prove
I
it.
don't believe it. You're lying to me. You're trying
You've
to
got to
deceive
believe it, darling. It's true. I just came from your father's house.
My father?
Yes.
What were you doing there, Steve?
There's nothing real about this Dullahan. I saw him. He's nothing but a piece of wood and plaster. An absolute dummy.
You saw him?
Yes.
No, he's in my head. I can feel him. He's laughing
Kitty,
at
you've got
me.
to listen to me. Do you remember what your father was? Do you?
My father?
Yes.
No, I can't.
He was a ventriloquist, don't you remember, Kitty? A ventriloquist.
I remember now. He had a dummy he called Mr. Dullahan.
That's right, darling.
But Father wasn't really a ventriloquist, Steve. The voice the audience heard was the real Dullahan, the spirit that possessed Papa.
Your father neglected you, and now you're taking a childhood hurt out on a dummy.
I know now why he neglected me. He was trying to protect me from the Dullahan.
He never loved anyone in his life. As a child, he paid more attention to the dummy than he paid to you.
No, it's not true. He did love me. That's why he stayed away from me. He was afraid the Dullahan might get me.
Kitty, that's what you want to believe. That's why you've made up this Dullahan in your mind. It doesn't exist. It's just make-believe, to make believe your father loved you.
But these headaches.
Yes, seeing your father lying dead brought back all these old stories to you, darling. Oh, Kitty, you've got to let Dr. Farrell and me help you for both of our sakes.
I want to believe you, Steve. Really, I do, but I'm so afraid.
But, darling, there's nothing, absolutely nothing to be afraid of.
If only I could be sure.
Kitty, I'm not going to let you go. Please, darling, you're going to be all right.
Am I, Steve?
You bet you are.
I do want to get well. Really, I do.
Kitty, we're going back to Boston. We're going to get married, just the way we planned to do.
I love you, Steve. Really, I do.
Kitty, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to leave you till you're completely cured.
No, Steve, don't ever leave me. Ever.
Darling?
What?
What is it?
My head.
What's the matter?
My head.
No, darling, you mustn't. You mustn't think about it. Kitty, don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Darling, you're quite right. I must try and forget the Dullahan. I feel better already. Steve!
We'll see who's made of wood and plaster, me fine mortal. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see!
Now remember, you mustn't believe in pixies, or leprechauns, or elves, or Dullahans. After all, Steve didn't. But better be careful whom you kiss.
NBC Television.
So the Dullahan jumped from the dead dad, oh no, the dummy, then the dead dad, and then from the dead dad to the daughter, and then from the daughter to the dude. But what about the dummy? And I don't know, I kind of like my fleshies wriggling still when I go,
brother.
Hey, Sally the Zombie Cheerleader here, and there you have it. The Dullahan is just jumping from one fleshie to another, and not one of those fleshies dropped dead. Well, maybe except the dead dad, because he was dead in the beginning, and there's the dummy, but, you know, the dad could have died from smoking, or, because, you know, they smoked a lot back then. That's all they did, smoking and commercials. Anyway, I thought this was a fun throwback short. Lots of smoking, and a quick plot to keep things moving, like really, really moving. And there are a few Lights Out episodes floating around in the public domain freeverse, so I may just show a few more, you know, public domain Lights Out episodes or other little mini-series. You know, there's quite a few of them out there in the public domain freeverse. Anyway, oh, and here are a few quick fun facts about Lights Out. Lights Out was an extremely popular American old-time radio program and an early example of a network series devoted mostly to horror and the supernatural, predating Suspense and the Inner Sanctum. Go Zoogle if you don't know what those are. Versions of Lights Out aired on different networks on the radio and at various times, from January 1934 to the summer of 1947, and then the series eventually made the transition to television, which ran about to 1952. And that floating creepy head belongs to Frank Gallup. Anyway, what's so special about these little nearly forgotten shows? Well, some of these old horror sci-fi shows had lots of soon-to-be famous faces lurking about in small parts here and there and writing the scripts. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this wee short of a St. Paddy's Day special. This is Sally the Zombie Cheerleader saying, don't fear the Reaper, the Dullahan, or the Headless Horseman, or whatever you want to call it, and watch who you kiss, fleshies. You'll just never know what you'll pick up if you kiss the wrong fleshie, or go hug a zombie. That's the best bet. This is Sally the Zombie Cheerleader saying, bye. Don't fear the Dullahan.
Thank you.